Treble dies are coming to the United States, and that makes this the perfect time for a tour of their entire reloading die product portfolio. Gavin Gee here from UltimateReloader.com. Today, I'm excited to help announce Creedmoor Sports as the official importer and retailer of Treble reloading dies for the United States market. That's right, I work directly with Creedmoor Sports. I work directly with Treble Gun Tools. I was able to help put the pieces together. Now, if you're here in the United States and you want to buy top shelf German reloading dies from Treble, you're going to be able to do that through Creedmoor Sports. So in this video, I wanted to do a brief overview of Treble. I wanted to walk through each of the different types of reloading dies that they offer. We're going to start with Treble company history. A few years after World War II, a guy named Rudy Treble started Treble Gun Tools, but he had a problem. He couldn't find the reamers he needed to do his work. So what did he do? He did what any innovator would do. He made them himself. And this really started innovation that would continue to today. Fast forward to 1984, Jürgen Treble takes over the reins of Treble Gun Tools from Rudy. He's still running the company today. In this day and age, Treble is well known for reamers, gauges, and reloading dies. Treble has quite an impressive manufacturing capability. They do almost all of their work in-house. In fact, they manufacture every part for their reloading dies except the lock ring screw. That is pretty impressive. And they have a fleet of the latest and greatest CNC machines, including 5-axis machines for their reamer production. And they use top quality materials. In fact, the steel supplier they use is the same steel supplier that supplies Audi. And today, they supply approximately 80% of the reamers for the European gun-making industry. The first thing you'll notice when you pick up a Treble reloading die is the quality of the surface finish, the precision ground exterior, the super crisp laser engraving. All of the details, all of the features are absolutely top shelf. And that's why some of the most demanding shooters in the world turn to Treble and other similar products to load their ammo for the highest level of competition. These dies, depending on the caliber that you're looking at and depending on the style of the die, are available in 7/8 threading, 1¼ threading, and 1.5 threading, which you can see over here for the 50 BMG reloading dies. Another nice thing about Treble reloading dies is they use interchangeable parts that are standardized where possible across the lineup of dies. So let's take a look at each style of die that Treble offers in their product lineup. And for each one, we'll take a high-level look at the features. What I'm showing you here is a snippet from the product page. You can see kind of all of the details, all of the information about the finish, and some of the specifics for each of these types of dies, starting with the full-length sizer die. The full-length sizer die is for the reloader that does not need precise control over neck tension. We'll use the bench rest neck die for that particular application. This is going to be a good all-around die for resizing brass, and it's got some great features. For all of the dies, you've got these gripping grooves, which help when you're going to adjust the die up and down in the press. And this die has a replaceable decapping pin. Let's take a look inside. I'm going to grab a 7/8 die and an 1.5 die. So we've got 50 BMG and we've got 6.5 by 47 LAPO. We'll look inside both. So very quickly you can get the spindle free, and then there's this, it's got the grooves here, like a thumb lock nut here for the decapping pin. The decapping pin comes out the back, very easy to replace. And then we've also got the expander ball, which is available in different diameters and is easy. It's just threaded right on here, so it's easily replaceable as well. So that is the 7/8 version. Let's take a look inside the Big Daddy, the 50 BMG 1.5 threaded die. Basically the same idea, but much larger. You can see the decapping pin here. It's going to come off in the same way. It's larger diameter, of course, because this is 50 BMG we're talking about here. And we've got this expander ball, which is also threaded, very easily replaceable as well. We can adjust the height of our decapping rod and then use the lock nut to lock that in place. Next, we move on to the bench rest neck die, and this is where you can specify the neck sizing diameter. This is especially helpful when you need precise control over neck tension or when you're going to turn your necks to a specific diameter and you need to have that neck sizing area just perfect. That's this die here, and one of the unique features for this die is the spring-loaded guide sleeve. Let's take a look inside. So again, we're going to look at an 1.5" threaded 50 BMG die. I've also got a 7/8 threaded 6.5 by 47 Lapua die. If we remove the spindle, we're going to see the spring for the guide sleeve. We've got a removable expander ball and decapping pin. Let's push out the guide sleeve. You can see we've got grease grooves there. And then if we have something to push with, we can actually get the sizing ring out. There we go. So this sizing ring, you can see there's laser engraving on here. If you look super, super close, is specified to different diameters. And that is how we can get that precise control over our neck tension. It goes right back into the back side there and screw it together. And just like last time, when we take a look at the 50 BMG die, we're going to see pretty much the same thing, much larger, slightly different proportions. Much larger expander ball. We've got the separate little thumb screw for the decapping pin. We've got the guide sleeve spring. Same kind of a situation here. And if we have something to push with that's not going to, actually we can probably remove this one by using our finger. Just pull that out, just like that. And then again, we've got the laser engraving that shows the specific diameter for a specific neck tension setup. Back together, same way. The standard bullet seater has quite a few interesting features, and really the biggest difference between it and the bench rest seater is the fact that it doesn't have the sliding alignment sleeve. But what it does have is interchangeable punches, which can be used for specific bullet profiles, and it also has a sleeve inside that can be flipped, and that changes whether or not you're crimping. For the standard seater, I've just got a 7/8 threaded die. In fact, this 6.5 PRC die was used in a recent story where I did kind of an end-to-end precision 6.5 PRC reloading story. Something you might want to check out. So when we remove the top cap, here instead of the spindle, we've got the punch assembly. This is what pushes the bullet down into the case, and if you have a 5.5 millimeter wrench, you can loosen this and exchange it with a bunch of different punch styles that Trebol offers. This is great for different bullet profiles, different manufacturers, and so on and so forth. What's cool about this die is we can remove the sleeve, and then there's an insert here. And the insert, if you look at the laser engraving, says crimp on one side, and it says no crimp on the other. So by flipping this sleeve, this internal ring here, we can control whether or not we're crimping, which is a pretty cool feature if you ask me. The bench rest seater builds on the capabilities of the standard seater by adding the guide sleeve. The guide sleeve guides the case in perfect concentricity, and it also supports that punch. The punch is perfectly centered. Let's look inside this die. For the bench rest seater die, I've got the 50 BMG 1.5" threaded over here, and then I've got 6.5 by 47 Lapua 7/8 threaded, and this has the optional metric micrometer cap. So when we remove the cap, we're going to see the spring for the guide sleeve, the sliding sleeve, and then we have the punch. These uses the same punches as the standard seater, and then we've got the guide sleeve or the sliding sleeve here, which you can remove here. Laser engraving on the bottom tells you the caliber and pertinent information, and things go back together just like the other caps on the other dies. Now here again, we're going to see essentially the same thing, and yet again, this is on a much larger scale. So a much larger punch, and this, I've got other punches over there for different bullet profiles, and again, we've got the sliding sleeve, which is just mammoth. This is some really, really serious gear, and I'm looking forward to ultra precision 50 BMG loads. So there it is, the tour of Treble's lineup of precision reloading dies. I'm still getting to know these products, so you're going to want to check the video description and that first link to the article for any corrections or any additional information from Treble. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you're going to subscribe with notifications, because I'm going to be using these precision reloading dies in some really, really cool stories coming up. Finally, do you use Treble reloading dies, or would you like to? Drop a comment, tell us what you have in mind or what you've done, and we'll start a discussion. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Also, make your voice heard. If you have something to say, please drop a comment. Make sure you're subscribed with notifications, because you're not going to want to miss the awesome content that is coming up. And finally, flex your reloading pride. You could look great in one of these t-shirts. We've got multiple designs at the Ultimate Reloader store. I'll see you later, because I'm off to go shooting.